Nigeria as a country under President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, in 2013, Nigeria's gross domestic product GDP of 80 trillion naira, equivalent of around $510 billion. Nigeria was made or recognized as the largest economy in Africa, well ahead of South Africa at the time, of course. At the time, South Africa was had an economy of $384 billion, at least when it was updated in 2012. Now, in 2013, the World Bank's ranking was that Nigeria was the 27th largest economy in the world, ahead of Austria, Denmark, and the United Arab Emirates, according to the African Economic Outlook, where I got this information from. The country's economy grew at 7.4% in 2013 and was projected, of course, to continue to post real growth rates of over 7% for 2014 and 2015. Well, that did not happen. Why? Because Barack Obama was not happy to have Goodluck Jonathan remain in position. I digress if I go ahead to talk about all the other things that led to Barack Obama not wanting Goodluck Ebele Jonathan to continue. How sad is it that African countries get so much interference from foreign countries, Western nations, to the point where they decide who remains and who goes. And once upon a time, we had scale all over our eyes. We were easy minions to be used by even foreign government. We were there. We partook. Bring back our girls now. Bring back our girls now. We all took the placard. We went to the streets. We chanted when the Chibok girls were kidnapped. Little did we know that we all were a pawn in their game. We were all used to bring down our government, the economy of our country, Nigeria, that was thriving. It wasn't perfect, but it was a good place. We were in a good place. They criticized of the prosperity of the economy not showing, reflecting in the lives of ordinary people. But how about now? There will not be perfection. We will not have perfection because there have been decadence. There have been decades of corruption, rottenness in the society, in the system. But at least in 2015, before Jonathan left, Nigeria was in a good place. Now, just before the elections in 2025, all hell broke loose. There were threats. The atmosphere was intense. Because I was there, I experienced it firsthand. Just a day before elections, we could smell, lurking in the corner was the smell of war. We were scared. We were afraid. We locked ourselves indoors. Some of us didn't want to go out to vote because we weren't sure what it is the devil had in stock, or what it is the devil had set on the table as an appetizer, the main course, and a dessert. Quoting Goodluck Jonathan in an interview, he says the level of interference by the Obama government was very overwhelming. It's not as if I would not have won the elections, he says. Some other people look at it. They go outside the normal diplomatic relationship. Literally, he's just saying, look at it. They literally went outside the normal diplomatic relationship, sending John Kerry, who was the then Secretary of State of the United States of America, on the eve of elections, even after Obama made a statement to vote for the next chapter. What does that even mean? Voting for the next chapter. How does Obama sit in the United States and advise Nigerians to vote for the next chapter? And Nigerians were blinded. We were in love and we were vulnerable because this was the first African American or a black man of mixed heritage who is president in the United States of America, and everybody was, in that place where they were. We were. What's the word now? When a shaman does some kind of magic to put you in a trance. What's it called now? When the word comes to my mind, I'll tell you, but I'm sure you already know what the word is. So that's what Obama did to us as Africans. We were proud. We loved him. The first ever African to become president in the United States of America. We thought he was going to be good for Africa, but no. He turned out to be the worst thing that ever happened to the African continent on every level. So Goodluck Jonathan goes on to say that sending John Kerry on the eve of elections, even after Obama made a statement to vote for the next chapter, that tells you something. And we should not sweep these things under the carpet. If a foreign country, whether African or American, interferes with our elections, we should mention it. Indeed, we should mention it. Okay, now we have the benefit of hindsight. We have the benefit of information left, right, and center. What will be the excuse that we'll continue to allow ourselves to be used as pawns in their game to our detriment as a people, as a continent, as an economy? We have everything it takes to succeed, to prosper, to thrive. Okay? So, little wonder that we continue to struggle on the continent. Little wonder that we make a step forward and we take 100 backwards, year in, year out, decades after decades. Yeah? So Perry's allegation came amid growing concerns from Nigerian authorities regarding the financial support mechanism sustaining Boko Haram. Little wonder, how is Boko Haram being funded? How is it that Boko Haram has more sophisticated weapons than the Nigerian army can boast of? In a recent interview with Al Jazeera, Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher Musa, expressed concerns about how international non-governmental organizations operate in conflict zones. What are you kidding me? Particularly in the northeast of Nigeria, where Boko Haram and ISWAP insurgents are active. What's their interest? Do they love us so much that they leave the comforts of their homes in the United States of America and they're going into conflict zones that even Nigerians will not venture into? Unless, of course, there's something so much more to gain. If my memory serves me right, just before the election, suddenly America became prophets. They could see what was going to happen. They could see where the terrorists were going to migrate from Libya. They were going to come all the way to Nigeria. And you wonder and ask yourself, if you know all of these things and you are what you say you are and you do the things that you portray or you preach to do, why couldn't you help the Nigerian government stop them? Why was Goodluck Jonathan's, refused weapons to purchase American weapons to fight the insurgents? Well, the Chief of Defense Staff is urging the United Nations to investigate the source of funding for terror groups, adding that many insurgents found in military operations had been caught with foreign currencies. That's no news. While the Nigerian government has yet, of course, to issue an official statement regarding the congressman's claim, several prominent figures, including a former minister and foreign envoy, have weighed in on the matter, calling for a thorough investigation to verify the allegation. Are you kidding me? A factual statement was made by a congressman, a United States congressman, and you're trying to verify the allegations even though it's against you, to your detriment. It's either they're too scared to voice the obvious, or perhaps they have been beneficiaries of the insurgency in Nigeria. A former Nigerian ambassador to Brazil and Argentina, Dele Cole, condemned the claim that USAID funds were being used to fund terrorism in Nigeria, and he questioned whether the funds were given to Nigeria in the form of cash or cold, cash and cold on the federal government to investigate the claim. Well, in my opinion, he is not in a position to even cast aspersions on the statements made by this congressman. If anything, any well-meaning Nigerian and African will just agree, I would imagine. Now, Nigerians have demanded an investigation into the allegation by the United States congressman. The question is that I ask, who will conduct the investigation? How will this investigation be carried out? Where will the investigation begin and end? As we already know, that terrorism has thrived and keep thriving because of the involvement of the enemies from within, elites and commoners alike. What are the powers that Nigeria have to investigate this? Does Nigeria sincerely think that the United Nations will investigate and expose the truth if it's against the interest of a Western nation? Well, times are changing. Donald Trump is now the president of the United States of America. Anything is possible. We follow cautiously. You have been listening to Susan West. Please like, follow, share our content. And of course, share your opinion in the comment section. Thank you.